Hello everyone and welcome to this quick tutorial where I'm going to be talking about how to use effects in Premiere Pro. We've discussed over the course of this last few months how to do some basic edits in Premiere. We've focused on using titles, we've focused on using transitions, and today we're going to level up and talk now about using effects. This is going to be particularly important when we start editing our experimental film because the whole point of the experimental film is that you're going to want to add elements using effects that's going to make your video be distorted or be more weird, random, more experimental. And so pay attention. This video won't be very long, but I'm going to go through the basics of how to find the effects, how to apply them to a clip, and really most importantly, how to control the effect. After you watch this video, you can jump into the actual edit of your experimental film, and then we'll talk about this in more detail on later this week when we go through this tutorial as a group. Alrighty, so let's begin. Right off the bat, you're going to notice that I have a couple of clips in my video folder. I'm using some Valentine's Day footage. Here I have this rose. Here I have a barista making a drink. Here I have a hand and a really cool shot of a heart with some lights. And here I have a couple walking on a path. These are all clips that I've downloaded from Motion Array. That's why I have the watermark here. Let's begin. So I'm going to create a sequence from this clip. And right away you're going to notice that it has a really nice tone to it, right? If I press play, you can see that it is a beautiful rose with some water, rain falling onto it. But let's say I wanted to use this clip in my experimental film, but I wanted to make it look black and white. Well, I can actually do that pretty simple, and that's where we're going to start here today. So first things first, I got to change my workspace to the Effects workspace. And I'm going to be focused inside of my Effects tab here at the top. All of the effects I'm going to be using today are located here in the Video Effects folder, but I'm also going to be using this search bar to filter and find the effects that I'm looking for. So first I said black and white, so I'm going to type in the word black. I'm going to use Shift 7, which is the and symbol. And you'll notice that it filters in the Video Effects and Image Control folder the black and white effect. In order to add an effect to a clip, I have to click, hold, and drag. You'll see my mouse turned into like a little hand that's dragging. And I got to lay it down on top of the clip I want to mess with and then let it go. As you can see, immediately my colored rose now looks black and white, which is really cool and might be something that is worth putting into my experimental film. How do I access the actual effect? Well, after I add an effect to my clip, if I double click on the clip, it's going to open it in my source monitor. And your new best friend is here at the top. It's called the Effect Controls panel. We've done some work in this, if you remember, our opacity and our blend modes. We'll review that as well. But you'll also see that I have the black and white effect added to this clip. And then you have a button here that's a little FX, which means you can turn off and turn on just to kind of preview what the effect looks like. So I like this. I think it works. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for now. Next, I'm going to move on and work with this clip of the barista. I'm just dragging it down. And for this one, I want to make it look a little more unique. So I'm going to clear my black and white. I'm going to go inside of my Video Effects folder. I'm going to go to my Distort. I'm going to twirl open Distort by clicking the arrow. And here I'm going to be focused inside of my Offset. So if I take this offset, click, hold, and drag, bring it down onto my clip, and let it go, nothing happens. This is where that Effect Controls panel comes in. If if I double click on the clip, go to my effect controls, you'll see I have the offset, and any number you see in blue, we're going to talk about this in a lot of detail, is an editable parameter. So with the offset selected, if I hover over this number in blue, my mouse turns into an arrow with a finger and two arrows. And if I click to one side and click to the other, you'll see that I'm now adding this effect. So let's say I want to do something like that. And then let's say I want to do something like this. I've essentially added the effect to where when I play it, it now has this really cool quad, and you never know, that might work for your video. If I double click on it and go back to my effect controls, I can also click this blend, which is kind of funky. If I blend them together, I have them all kind of playing simultaneously, which looks pretty interesting. Now these are just my examples. Next I'm going to move to my hands holding this flower, this heart, and drag it down. I'm going to now move into my stylized folder, and I'm going to go to my mosaic. And I'm going to add this mosaic to that clip, and boom, really cool stuff here, right? Now if I double click and go to my effect controls, here is the mosaic, horizontal and vertical blocks. I can increase them to really give myself any sort of look that I want. And it's simple as just adding that effect and messing with the parameters inside of the effect controls. Let's do one more example here with this couple walking. Again, I'm just dragging down. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and go to my transform. And you know what? Let's go to noise and grain and add some noise to this clip. Now you'll notice when I added it, nothing happened. But if I double click, go to my effect controls, here's my noise, and I can turn on that noise to really give it kind of like a grainy, messy look. You can always add more than one effect. So let's say I want to go now to image control or generate or any other folder. How about distort and spherize? There it is. And if I take it, I can add a sphere into my clip, really taking it to the next level to where it no longer looks like the original clip. It has that weird abstract look to it. How about we add another one to this one? How about a twirl? And how about I take that twirl and I mess with this centerpiece? Now when it plays, I have this crazy twirl in the middle with that pixelated image around it. And how about here a wave warp? And I mess with a couple of these waves. Now I'm really dealing with something much more different by just adding a few different effects. And one more, how about turbulent displace? And I'm just going to randomly select a couple of these, and you can see that I changed my flower into something much more different that might work for my video and might not. Really give it a really crazy look. So that's a quick little tutorial, my friends, on what we can do with our different effects. Thanks for listening. Again, it's in our effects tab in our effects workspace. You add it to any clip that you want. You double click on the clip. You go to your effect controls. You see where it is. You change some of those numbers in blue, and you can have some fun trying to find some new and unique effects in Premiere. We're going to talk about this as a group here in the next few days, but just wanted to introduce the concept to you for now. Thanks for listening. You can go ahead and jump into the edit. Good luck, and we'll see you in a few.